Good evening. My name is Bita Sadanandan, and today is the 16th of March 2026. The time is 6:27 p.m. And today I would be working on another area of our body in maintaining health through the Nirbeeja Yoga style. And the area of body is the choker. I call it the choker. Now, what I've done is I've divided our neck, our human body into 41 parts. 40 of them, I've divided them further into 4 parts. And one part, that's the tail. I call it the tail plus straw. Maybe I should do that 4 days of tail plus straw because there's enough material. The thing is, today's live is about one part of the neck, of the 4 parts of the neck. And I call it the choker area. And this is the lowermost portion of the neck, which is the 4th part, according to my segregation, 4th part of the neck, which is the lowermost portion of the neck just before the collarbone start. Okay? So if you consider it as a band from the lowermost portion all the way to the back, which includes your cervical spine, about 7, 8. Yeah? I'm not being specific here so that we are not being too objective in is it the 7th or 8th cervical nerve vertebra, so that the objective is, the idea remains to maintain a neck region, particularly about the lowermost portion of the neck. But generally, at least if the neck is doing better, we would still be working in having better integration, better appreciation of health, having a better health. Yeah. From what we are being aware of, how we are being mindful, how we are appreciative of the present moment. So those are some of the factors that make Nirbeeja Yoga different. Awareness, mindfulness, present moment appreciation. Okay, so there's a time factor here. And also appreciation. So we could complain, but we would also be appreciating those factors too. So, okay. So appreciation is a bit like values, like in stock market trading. When you appreciate the values, then what is there to be appreciated gets appreciated. The others, rise and chaff, get discerned. Yeah, according to what their consequent values are. Chaff is not bad. Rice is not necessarily only good, but you begin to see what they're made up of in their constituent parts. So in that sense, appreciation has its own value in yoga. The house is fun. Ooh, wait. If you come here just to see the fun bit, then it's going to take away from what are all the other ingredients in here. Fun is one of the bit parts. I mentioned about awareness, mindfulness, present moment appreciation. All right. What is it about the choker? Choker, I call it choker because ladies sometimes tend to wear a jewel about this region, or somewhere around there, at least the lowermost portion, or about the thyroid region. So the region above the choker, I call it as a thyroid, the region above that as a voice box, the region above that as a hyoid. I have put up a calendar of the different parts of the body that I tend to maintain health of on my website, www.dynamicstillnesses.com. On that website, there is a page named Dailies. And on Dailies, I've put up a calendar for this month with the different parts of the body spread across different days of the month or months, because I'm talking about 41 parts and 40 of them divided into 4 parts and 1 part per day. Yeah, so that's quite a bit of days. Yeah. But the thing is, we all have a body that's human, no matter where on the globe, and we are all on the same planet Earth. Yeah. We have a body that's human, affected by our physiology according to your own, geographical location. Now, I'm speaking from South India, Bengaluru, Srinagar. Now, you could be in another part of the country, another part of the continent, another part of the globe, and facing the environmental changes or the conditions there, the technology around there, the people around with their different levels of health, all having their own influence on your body. Yeah. And you have a body that's human. So an alive human being has at least the head, neck, shoulders, the spine, and the pelvic region, plus or minus limbs, according to your placement in the whole scheme of things, depending on what your body structure needs to be to work on, to deliver on the goods that you have come into existence for. Because it takes a long time to qualify to have a human body. And you have a body that's human, and you're alive. And we have a body to maintain health of. Because if we don't maintain our health, we could have downtime. And the work that we need to do suffers because you're having a downtime. So protection of health is better than prevention of diseases, is better than cure. So this method of yoga is to help us maintain being healthy. So one, we are having less downtime. Two, health is wealth. When you're healthy enough, what you think, how you think, what you do, how you do is much different than if you're sick, which means how you make wealth, what work you do, what thought lines by which you make wealth differs. And then there is also wisdom. How do you then regularly then upgrade how you do things, how you maintain health, how you deliver value, also upgrades. That's also wisdom, getting wiser by the day. Now, that's some of the difference that Nirbeeja Yoga makes available. This is movementless yoga. So there is no striking a pose or several such details you will notice as you're just taking care of the choker area. So I invite you to bring your attention. Okay. I invite you to take a seat on a chair, preferably, which has a back, so you can rest your back. And why is that important? Is because your muscles can relax. You don't have to prop yourself up with your muscles being tense enough to prop yourself up. If you're going to lean your back against something, your muscles can relax. So the chair back can support your body. Okay. And then you can place your feet however you want to, at least for today's exercise. We are not particularly paying attention to body posture because we're talking about the neck. You could place your feet flat on the ground such that your knees are at a 90-degree angle to your ankles, is at a 90-degree angle to your hips, because that would give your skeletal framework would be more relaxed. So your muscles can then be relaxed. Yeah. That would also work. Your body would be less tense. And you can place your arms as is comfortable. If there's an armrest, go ahead with that. So movementless yoga, this can be done in different postures. We are paying attention to the choker area from a seated posture. So we have a common experience, but this could be done even sleeping, walking, in different postures. Because we're talking about the neck area, not, for example, um, other parts of the body, which would require other differences. For example, if I was working at the heart, then your musculature would need to be relaxed in a different manner, such that you can pay attention to the heart region. Because otherwise, your heart would go through physiological changes, which is different than, say, what your neck would experience. Now, I'm saying this about the neck because the neck is a region where, give or take in any posture, has the experience which, if you're not aware, continues to maintain the head versus shoulder relationship in easy or difficult. For a lot of people, it's in a difficult posture because their head and heart may not be talking to each other as well. Because this narrow valley that connects the head and the rest of the body, maybe in different states of ease versus dis-ease. Yeah. So over and above that, if your posture is relaxed, good for you. But nevertheless, you still have your neck the way it is. Yeah. So I invite you to bring your attention to your neck. And notice how is it? In the sense, try and pay attention to the sides of your neck. Okay, left and right sides. And notice your neck, the sides of your neck in terms of softness of your neck tissue muscles, neck tissue. And if you've had a tough day and you've been standing or talking a lot or not rested, been moving about, then your muscles are likely to be a little tense or at least feel a little like stringy, like cable wires, or just tough. And it may be a little difficult for you to pay attention to the softness of the sides of your neck muscles. If so, if that's how your neck is, or you sense some aspects of your neck, I invite you to bring your attention to any sense of softness about the sides of your neck. It may seem like I'm repeating myself, but it takes something to feel the softness about the sides of your neck. Now, I may be repeating, and it may irritate you. That irritation comes from your nerves not relaxed enough to be able to feel the softness of your neck. If your nerves are tight and you've had a tense day listening to a lot of people, your nerves would experience irritation. From, say, if I'm repeating myself, it could also be that you're a polymath. Polymaths would like to sometimes be said once, you say the second time, they get irritated. Chances are that. But it's also possible that you've had a tough day, or that you've never felt the softness of your neck by somebody else telling you that. Okay? So gently bring your attention to any sense of ease about your breath, even if it comes from recognizing that somebody may not have told you to pay attention to the softness of your neck. Could be that. Could be some similar recognition. Oh, that's why that's happening. There could be an ease in your breath. If so, continue to pay attention to any sense of softness. Now also include the back of your neck. Yeah, there could be more tense muscles. But when you pay attention to softness about the back of your neck, the muscles of the back of your neck, chances are there are some resources, some means of maintaining health which you didn't know about, which then comes alive, I can't say active, comes to your awareness in a way that you may not have paid attention to or known they exist. Bring your attention to any sense of softness. Now, in terms of any sense of relaxation about the back of your ears, pay attention to any sense of relaxation about the back of your ears and the shoulder joints. Notice how is your shoulder joints? Do they in some way relax when you pay attention to any sense of relaxation at the back of your ears or about your shoulder joints? Is there any sense of relaxation about the shoulder joints? And if you're not noticing about the shoulder joints, pay attention to the back of your ears and the region just below your ears. Do you notice any sense of relaxation or is there tension? That may be coming from your jaw area, the area where your jaws meet your ears. It's called the masseter, one of the toughest, strongest muscles in the body. It is used for biting. When you chew something, or when you chew something tough, like say sugarcane, when you bite into it, it's the masseter which exerts that force enough to bite. So the region just below your ears could be tight from the force that these masseters have used to chew. through the day, through the years sometimes. And you may never have relaxed this area of your body, because of which you didn't know your jaws are exerting a tension in the region below your ears. Try and bring attention to any sense of softness about the angle of your jaw, about the region below your ears. Try and see if there's any sense of relaxation that you can pay attention to, because that'll help a little bit to dissolve, so to speak, the tension in your jaw. Okay? Try and bring attention to any sense of relaxation or ease from paying attention to the region below your ears or the angle of your jaw. And notice if you can swallow saliva better, or is there saliva just flowing through your jaw because your jaws are more relaxed? In some way, is there saliva flowing through your throat? Because when the jaws relax, you have better saliva flowing through the parotid glands. It's called the parotid glands. It's about there, the angle of your jaw. And continue to pay attention to any sense of softness, any sense of relaxation, any sense of ease, or even fluid. Is there any sense of fluid or moisture or liquid about the region of your neck? That could also be your lymph nodes draining. Because when the tension in your neck reduces, lymph nodes drain better. So your brain's drainage system is functioning better. Now, righty. Bring your attention. Oh, I don't know who's listening in today's session. Having a little heavy. All right. Gently bring your attention to the front of your neck. Okay. And try and relax your shoulders as much as possible. Try and not hold the muscle. Yeah, you're not going for a war or ready to impress some ladies. Yeah, try and relax your muscles. Chances are people in the room would breathe a little easier because you are not holding a muscle. Yeah, chest puffed up like a puffer fish. Excuse the expression. You may be holding it strong and big, yeah, and maintaining life, but it may just be painful for people in the room, subconsciously, unconsciously, supraconsciously, because you are having to hold your muscles up like that. Or people in the room may be related to you in some way, at least genetically, DNA wise, or something. You may just be making life a little difficult by how you hold up your muscles. Again, I'm repeating myself. But you may be a polymath. There's at least a polymath in the room, whoever's listening here. Because you can listen once. If I say twice, you get irritated. Oh, right. That may be a tendency. Yeah. But nevertheless, just pay attention that if you're not getting a little irritated, that may be because your nerves are all the time processing information from different kinds of information. So you're like a masterpiece. You listen to something once and then you calibrate and then make calculations from there. You hear it twice, it's irrelevant information. Or yeah, you don't want to waste your time on that. So now what I'm doing through Nirbeeja Yoga is giving you the opportunity to multiply time. When your muscles are relaxed, your muscles also function as timekeepers, which means not only your nerves, but your muscles also have the benefit of multiplying time, because they would be breathing and functioning in tandem with other tissues. So it's like you have many clocks. You know, clocks, they keep time. So there's, okay, the tissues of your body breathe. They inhale, exhale. There is a certain time by which they inhale, exhale. Bones inhale, exhale at a particular time. Muscles inhale, exhale at a particular time. That's different because bones are denser tissue than muscles. Blood, inhale, exhale at a particular time. Connective tissue, it's a different kind of a tissue. Skin, inhale, exhale at a particular time. Skin is lighter than muscles, is lighter than bones. Your body is a whole lot of times. Yeah. Your nerves are not the only tissue that processes information. Because you're tense or are not aware of other parts of your body, you don't know how many times you have the opportunity to make things better, lighter, faster. But because you're not aware, you're like a phone that's only like a smartphone and super smartphone, functioning only by caller systems. You're only calling, using the phone to call, not using other faculties. So if that's information and that's having your polymath system a little more alert, a little more paying attention, good. That may be some of your muscles a little more relaxed from your only your nerves having to do all the work. Now you have other departments like muscle department, you have skin department, you have fascia department, you have blood. Okay, we're not going all there because you would get a little, oh my God, overwhelmed with information. I know you're a polymath, but there are degrees of wellness, and you may be functioning from just a limited set of resources or different limited set of engines. Okay. Continue to attend these lives or attend as it pleases you so that you're not getting overwhelmed. Or let's just say you have just enough food. You bite the size that you're ready to chew on. And then if it feels okay for you, come join and then see what more you would like to bite into. No BYTE or BITE, bit of information. Yeah. So you don't have to, you can process information. You're going to be processing information nevertheless. But what you process, how you process, what all you can process, what you can do with what you process would be different. Life becomes easier, simpler, expansive, wider, more richer, deeper. But you don't want to handle depth, I think. You just want this and this and this too. Yeah. You may not be so much focusing on depth or on variety. You don't want to think about all of that. You may be a little bit in a survival mode and more with this and this and these two, because otherwise you would have less. So you may be more in a horizontal frame of reference than a vertical or depth. Vertical is more depth, kind of. You may not be so much ready for depth as much as horizontal, how wide and how much. So there are different kinds of information processing. Yeah. So you may not have considered that. It may be more than why should you need to consider that? Let's just say this. When you have, it's like one punch practiced 10,000 times versus 10 punches practiced one time. You may be practicing one or a few set of punches and getting better at it, but there are other ways by which to have the benefits from what you're practicing, which you may not be tapping into because either you didn't know they existed, you probably didn't know they existed, or you have not been taking notes or contacted people who could then help with your unique set of skills, values, virtues. I can't say virtues. I don't know if you've come to virtues yet. Okay. I'm just kind of gauging by who's in my room right now. Somebody, at least there's one polymath. All right. Now, about maintaining the region of your choker, the lower portion of your neck. This region is also the thoracic inlet. If you consider your body to be like a box, where your rib cage is kind of like, rib cage, it's a cage, but it also holds your lungs and your heart. But if you consider that the top of your lungs is about the upper portion of closer to your shoulder, and that there are nerves, there are also arteries, blood vessels moving from your heart to your head. So this thoracic inlet, the region of your thorax, about the region of your shoulders, is like the inlet. Information from your head moves to your thorax. The nerves, there are at least 10 cranial nerves moving through your neck, and they move through the thorax, the upper portion of the thorax into the body. So it's the thoracic inlet. And if this region is a little choked, you're maintaining a lot of tension, then information processing passing from your head to your rest of your body and information from the rest of your body to your head may not be as much with ease. Like you have a kitchen sink, if it's a little clogged, things don't move through it as well as it needs to. So relaxing the choker area, choker, helps different kinds of information process through. So you may not be surviving life, you may be more living life. And then also moving to thriving in life. Yeah, thriving by living life. Otherwise, you're kind of surviving the different situations, different kinds of information, while you have your whole gist of stuff you want to make available, you're working on making available. But to see those opportunities and to access those opportunities, you need to be more relaxed and a little more, I can say, let's just say, present, moment, appreciative, also mindful and aware. That brings some length, breadth, and depth to how you appreciate life. How do you see opportunities? Do you see opportunities? Because if you're only going to be in survival mode, you may not be able to see those opportunities because you're busy surviving life. Okay? When you're more relaxed, you're more present, you're more appreciative of life. You're also appreciative of values, and you see opportunities which others may miss because they haven't attended these lives. Yeah? Or they haven't listened to me, or they haven't had the time to think the thoughts that I'm making available. I had to say this because I've been listening to many people over the years, and I still find what I'm doing is adding value than what I'm saying is more than what a lot of people are talking about. So I'm now, blowing my own horns. So it may just be that you're listening to this, a lot of people haven't listened to. So I am being a pioneer. Yeah, congratulations. You're listening to stuff not heard anywhere else. Yeah, and it's all brand new, kind of. I'm just beginning to talk my stuff. Little more. All right. The choker area and the thoracic inlet and your ease of life between your head and shoulders. Because if this area is choked and not functioning as well, you can't listen well. Because the neck muscles, when they're tight, they also kind of impinge upon your hearing nerves. So people may be talking, but you can't listen because they're all clumped a little together. Or you are talking and you've not known that you need to listen to yourself. Or what's coming out of your mouth is sometimes tough that your own ears closes off, such that you don't listen to yourself. Yeah? If that's the kind of language that's coming out of your mouth, your ears don't want to listen to you. So your ears are like a different being. Yeah? They are made up of a different set of microorganisms. Yeah? And your brain functions from a certain set of microorganisms. If they don't like what's coming out of your mouth, they shut. Try singing. Use a karaoke app and try singing nice songs, not those grief, scary songs or a lot of anger and stuff. Pleasant songs, light, pleasant music. Your ears are more likely to want to listen to what's coming out of your mouth. What's coming out of your mouth. And then try listening to music or chirping of birds or songs of the trees. I know they rustle, but when you are listening in an appreciative manner, rustling of leaves have a certain cadence, have a certain music of their own. Or listen to water, or just walk and listen to the cadence of your feet on the ground. There is a happy sound to when you're walking, and there's a heaviness also. But when you're listening, but you need to actually listen to yourself speak, because that makes a difference. You can listen. You may or may not be listening to other people also, because You're always listening to tense stuff. Either it's like on the phone, or you're a transcriptionist. You're always listening to doctors or people talking. And then you may not want to listen to them all the time, but it may be your job and you have to listen. That's also something that's possible, because of which you can only listen to this much. And after that, you just have selective deafness. You don't want to listen any further. Yeah. And then you plug a earphone and listen to music, because music is more pleasanter than the meaningless words that people sometimes are yapping all the time. Kind of. Yeah. Or all of that affect your choker area also. Because if your ears are tensed and compressed, your neck is tense and compressed. Because your neck is a connection between your head and shoulders. Your head doesn't stay up on by itself. So if your ears are tense, your brain is thinking through all kinds of thoughts, your neck chokes up. And if your neck chokes up, there is cranial nerves moving from your head to your rest of your body, like jacked. Yeah. And there is also blood vessels moving from your heart to your brain. They're also having a little traffic jam. Not so good for your health. You're more likely to be surviving life. Do you see how important this neck is? Slender, but quite a throughway for quite a lot of, oh my God, information. Yeah. You are more likely to pray to God, or praying to God because your neck is so choked and not so much communicating. However, your posture is, yeah, your head and shoulder connection may be a little, kahani may twist. What's called a bottleneck. Yeah, bottleneck. The message in the bottle, the message that you have to deliver, you've born to make available, maybe a little bit stuck. You're unable to communicate because of the bottleneck. Yeah, because you need your voice box to have your voice come out. And if it's choked, yeah, you have a little difficulty speaking it out. The truth of the matter, maybe having a head and a brain and heart connection issues. So you're a little bit, do I say, do I not say, how do I say this? So, ease of living. Otherwise, you would be praying to God for liberation, but then the connection is between your brain and your heart. Yeah. So this is a way by which to relax the choker, which may be your whole neck or just the choker area. Nevertheless, you have a thoracic inlet. Yeah. Warmth, softness, any sense of ease, any sense of moisture, any sense of pace that your breath breathes by. So a relaxed breath has a certain rhythm. A tense breath has a certain rhythm, which is different from a relaxed breath. But if you're only going to be paying attention to your breath and are not paying attention to how your muscles are, you are kind of, it's called an obsessive compulsive attention to the normal rhythm of your breath, while your muscles are like, I am dying. Yeah. And you are paying attention to regular rhythm of your breath, while your muscles need a little, other than that, they need to actually have that tense, anxious movement. Yeah. And you're obsessively compulsively breathing regularly. Yeah. So I invite you to first pay attention to your muscles in terms of warmth, softness, any sense of moisture, any sense of ease, any sense of relaxation. And they may not always be present, but you're likely to notice some sense of warmth because you are not a chair or an an arm, iron rod, or yeah, you are a human being with soft muscles. Human beings have soft muscles, and you have warm blood moving through your body. Any human being anywhere have warm blood. You have warmth inside you. Pay attention to it. Yeah. And anyway, bring your attention to any sense of warmth. It may be hot, your blood may be boiling, but that is talking about your nerves likely to get a short fuse. So cooling. Paying attention to warmth, not hot. If you have hot blood, you also have warm blood. Because if you had only hot blood, you would not be an alive human being. And you are alive, which means you have warm blood moving through your body. If you had only hot blood, you wouldn't be alive. Pay attention to any sense of warmth. Pay attention to any sense of softness. If you can't immediately feel it, that's because your nerves may not have gotten familiar with this way of paying attention to your body. Your nerves may be more familiar with survival and then somehow get through the day, yeah, and not have paid attention to your own body in this manner. Sense of warmth, softness, moisture, ease, relaxation. Your nerves may not be familiar with paying attention to your body in this manner. Over time, you would feel warmth, softness, moisture, ease, relaxation, and you would be less surviving life and a little more enjoying, or more, at least a little more alive than just being a machine going about your daily activities or just doing things, one thing, another thing. Yeah, you would feel a little more alive. And that's a good thing. Sometimes people are surviving life because they have not experienced their own body in this way, in terms of warmth, softness, moisture, ease, relaxation, gentle, calm. Yeah, not just another block of tissue. Yeah. Um, Try and drink some water and try noticing how the water moves from your mouth through your neck to your body. Yeah. Notice how does the water move from your mouth through your throat to your neck to your stomach. You can actually feel that. If you pay attention to how water is moving, you can feel it. And then try and relax the muscles around that water movement. You would have a little sense of ease. If you're going to gulp water one shot, like one bottle, you won't be able to feel it because you won't be able to have the time to relax your muscles. One sip at a time, one little gulp at a time, little by little. Drink it, not gulp it. And if you're going to have a little warm water, you might notice your muscles relaxing because your muscles tend to relax with warm water, not hot water. Your muscles will go through trauma if you're going to be drinking hot water. Warm water, lukewarm water, nice. Because how your muscles relax, how your nerves relax with lukewarm water is very different from hot water or cold water or chilled water. Oh my goodness. Over time, you would be able to appreciate this relaxation with room temperature water. But begin with some lukewarm water if you're not familiar with taking care of yourself. If you've only been taking care of others, different kinds of systems, taking care of things, try and drink some lukewarm water and notice how your muscles relax when you drink lukewarm water. Okay? And try and relax your back on a back rest. If you're not used to doing that, try and relax. Just lean your back against a backrest and try letting the weight of your body be taken by the chair and the back of your chair. A lot of people don't know to give their weight or allow the chair to hold the weight of your body, their body. They may not have experienced the chair or the bed or earth holding up their body's weight because they're all the time holding up and making things work and doing things. Okay? Try and give your weight or allow the chair to hold your weight. Your muscles may relax, and it's not a bad thing. It's not it may seem unfamiliar, but it's not always scary. You may learn to work with life's resources in another manner. You won't break. You will have something more by which to then see opportunities, by which you don't have to do things alone. There will be others, there will be other ways also by which to meet the day's requirements, daily requirements. Okay? Try and allow the chair to hold the weight of your body. And when you're sleeping, try, if you're sleeping on the ground, allow the earth to hold your weight for that time as you're sleeping. If you're sleeping on a bed, allow the bed to hold the weight of your body. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of value to you. Every session is different because who's in the room, who participates, what discussions we have, it all varies. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been able to relieve some of the choker in your neck in some way. Well, I hope this helped. But yeah, do let me know if this has been of value to you. In the comments, I'd like to read them because that lets me know how, if I'm adding value, should I change something? Please let me know. Yeah. Good day.